Well, she's all cleared out. Sorry didn't capture the moving process. That's where we had the desk and the fridge, and we nicknamed that Carter's Corner. That's my son, and whenever he'd come over to hang out, that's where he'd sit and draw and whatnot. A lot of memories. Just got back from the bar store. Picked up my helper along the way. Say hi, buddy.
Hi.
I always heard that old saying, if walls could talk, the stories they would tell. The memories that they hold are something else. Hey guys, it's Will Robinson here. I'm an automotive technician. I believe I shared like the last 4 years of it with you. I was in this garage twice that length. It is a nice color, though, ain't it, Forrest?
Beautiful.
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 That door's totally caved in. It's like educational to me. It reminds me of things that I may have forgotten. I'm sure you guys want to do this. And it's just like the garage we're moving into. If those walls could talk, if we only knew the stories behind that as well. This all started as a place to keep my tools out of the weather. And I was like, you know, I got a lot of stuff, and I gotta rent some place to put it, you know, because the place that we were renting at the time didn't have any storage. So I started out at my old brother-in-law's house. He let me store my boxes and stuff there, and then this came available, and I didn't want to be a burden on him, so I rented this place and I moved in here. And shortly after that, I ran into a couple YouTubers, and while looking up some problems of my own, and that's how this whole channel started. I was like, you know, I got some information I could share with you guys as well. Been doing this stuff all my life, and if you would like, I'll share some videos with you guys. I'll make a series of videos of word by word. My clientele just built to what you guys see today, and I want to keep it going, and I'm going to keep on keeping it going, probably this time more than ever, because there's going to be a lot more time invested. I just want to give you one little farewell, a little moment to say goodbye to the shop.
The toolbox going on the truck, but we're going to get the toolbox coming off the truck.
Drink the beer, come on.
Watch the cart. And the ladder.
Okay, right there.
And it's down.
Oh, that was scary. That was too scary. If any of you guys know someone that might want or be interested in any of these old parts, they came out of a garage that was going out of business, and I would say they're at least from the 60s. I'm not certain. I could get part numbers off it. I'm not sure if that R1521. Guys, I have so much stuff here. These look like barons and whatnot for rebuilding alternators and starters. Lots of brand new AC components. Look at all these freaking spark plugs. Master cylinders, I'm not sure what that would be off of. Everything's got some age on it though. That's a rebuild for General Motors Corporation. Model 1527. But there's more stuff underneath that. Especially local. It would be nice if they live in PA and you just want to come pick it up. Here's some more stuff that came out of that old garage. I got cases of this stuff. It's an old Penray engine, cool guard, anti-antifreeze or whatever. Prevents engine overheating. I'm not sure if it's any good or just good for display. There's a case of it. In addition, I got a whole case of this. This case wasn't open when I first got it. But it's more Penray gum saw. It's gonna be my first day in the first full day in the new shop, so I'm just gonna take you guys along with me. Don't have a lift yet, however, I'm just getting started, just moving everything in, and the work's still piling up. So I just gotta get a couple jobs done quick. Taking you back to 2002. Just so it happens, I got a 2002 Buick LeSabre with some rusted out brake lines. I'm gonna take care of that, in addition to a 2002 Kia Sedona, something like that. It's an EX. Power steering pump failure. So we're going to be tackling both of these jobs today, and then hopefully getting some stuff put away and cleaned up once I knock these out, if everything goes well. Alright, stay tuned. I hope you enjoy. It's a little dark in here, I know. Every time I turn these lights on, they're so noisy. Like I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure I mentioned before, I like to upgrade these lights and put some LEDs and whatnot in here. Alright, let me give you a shot what I'm dealing with here. The lines look really good right here. However, they take a turn for the worst. Literally. Right about here, and you can see where we have some leakage. Both lines look pretty shady. Well, we're going to take and replace them both. It's going to be pretty straightforward, guys. I'm going to yank these ones out. Essentially from what it looks like, and it looks okay from here up, but we have a union, so I'll be able to take and separate these here, and we'll get them out on the ground, and then we'll match them up. Can you spot the line on the floor? Yeah, so we got both lengths out. Pretty much laid out the way they go. Then we'll go this whole way back. Next thing in line is the brake hose that goes to the left rear. And then we come over here. This is a shady one that was leaking right here. Goes over to the driver's side. And it was also leaking right here. Alright, so I'm going to have to go down to the local parts store and hopefully have some brake lines in stock. Now this is what they call a bubble flare. You see the bubble on it? It's not a double flare, it's a bubble, like blowing bubbles. And come to the other side, and it's the opposite directions. As you can see, it's the V6 3.5. Got jacked up and placed on jack stands. He's gonna need some tires soon. As you can see, the power steering fluid is just running out of this thing, so I don't want to start it up because it just makes a mess. We're going to start with removing this dust shield. So you got a 10, little Phillips head retainer there. And it's pretty self-explanatory. As you can see, that's the tensioner for the power steering pump. So you have that one lower 14 retainer nut, and then that upper bolt. Then if you come down there, right down here, you'll see the slack adjuster. That's a 14 millimeter as well. Lefty loosey, just like normal. You just spin that loose and it'll take the slack off the power steering belt. One retainer here, and I think there's one more up high, but we got one electrical connection and 2 lines. Alright, so what I did next, I removed the cap off the reservoir. There was only a little bit remaining in there, but I want to prevent making as much mess as possible, so I took and I sucked it out. Totally empty. There's actually a filter inside this reservoir that you should replace when you're doing a job like this, especially when there's a failure. However, it really doesn't look too bad. And let me see if I give you a shot. I don't know if you can see it down inside. Okay, so if you take and you follow the hose down to the pump, it's a little tight to get to that bottom one. So with hopes I could just take and remove it up here and fish it out and have pretty easy access to it. So we're going to give that a shot first. Yeah, got a little bit of fluid coming out. I got a drain pan underneath as well, but it was very little fluid. Okay, so that's off. All right, next if you come underneath, you got you see where that line's dripping? It's a 15/16, and that's the line that goes down to the rack. So I'm gonna take and remove that now. I already broke it loose. Okay, next, using this combination, 15mm swivel with about a 3-inch extension. I take and remove this 15mm retaining nut, which is located, you can just see that stud right there. That's where that retaining nut resides. Next we gotta remove the 17mm retainer here. Okay, that worked. We got the remanufactured air steering pump. Everything appears to be correct. So we're going to have to transfer all these parts over to the new one, including the pulley. Let me start by taking the hose and the sensor out. Here's to have an O-ring. We'll check the new one. Make sure that has an O-ring in place. 19mm seems to grab it okay. Can you give me a 1/2-inch drive ratchet? Alright, that has a O-ring on it. Here's to be a spring and a valve. That's all I see in there. $19mm. Oh, how about that, huh? Nice. Definitely want to clean this up. Run that down. Okay, that's tight. Alright, just clean that off. Feels good. Let's see what this came with. 2 new sealing rings. Okay, it actually came with a pop that one off. New one on there. Okay, just leave the O-ring up a little bit. Lock this down. New O-ring. I'm gonna take and blow this out. So your retainers. Now you don't have to go super tight with these guys because it's compressing against an O-ring. So the O-ring's doing the sealing. I think we got it. Alright, to fish it back up in there is pretty simple, straightforward. And just get the hose. It's nice if you have someone up top to make sure you're in the right path. Get everything fished up through. Got my retaining bolt started on the bottom. Got the retaining nut started on the top. I'm just going to take and tighten them down. Alright, as you can see with this, I forget what they call these, a banjo bolt, something like that. But you can see it's hollow in the center and it has a hole drilled through, and that's how the fluid passage works through the retaining bolt. But I have both sealing rings here, they're identical in size. It appears that replacement ones are the same. Let's install the new rings. One on the face, then we'll pass it through. Put this one on the opposing side, put it in there, and then tighten it up. Got the belt draped around. Now I'm just going to take up the tension. Retaining bolts are both tight on the power steering pump. Lines tight. Okay. When you go to tighten the belt up, you don't want to make it super tight. You want to make sure you got some deflection here. Just like what you see there. If you make it banjo string tight, that's when you go and you burn up bearings like you seen on that other pump. Now I'm not saying that's what ruined the other pump and whatnot. I'm just saying you don't want to over tighten your belts because it puts extra load, unnecessary load on the bearings. Got our retaining bolts tight. We gotta go up top, put our reservoir hose on. I could put this cover back on at this point and just hope that there's no leaks and whatnot. Because I want to take and I want to turn the wheel side to side to try to bleed the air out as much as possible before we go starting it up. Try to put this back in the same spot, right about there. Okay, I'm just going to fill it up with fluid. Just take a visual inspection, make sure there's no leaks right off the bat. You want to use the power steering fluid that your vehicle recommends. In this case, it's PSF3 or equivalent. We're going to fill it right up to its max. She's thirsty. Alright, I'm not seeing anything running out prior to starting, so that's a good sign. Alright, for now I guess I'm going to just loosely put the cap on it and start it up just in case an air bubble comes out or something. I'm going to turn the wheel all the way to the left and all the way to the right, stop to stop. And I'm not sure if you'll see some air bubbles coming through that reservoir. I'm going to let that foam settle down inside the reservoir. Once that settles down, we'll start it back up. Just take one more visual from up top. Look down, make sure your work is good. All looks well. All right, let's start it up one more time and see what it's on. I'm not seeing any air bubbles up top. I'm not seeing any leaks. Alright, I think that's going to wrap this one up, guys. I'm going to jump over and try to finish up on the brake lines on a beautiful Sabre. And I hope you enjoyed.